Hello, boys, and welcome to a new science lesson. Today, we're going to start our new unit, Unit 10 Heat. Today, we're going to talk and learn about heat sources and heat uses. But as always, before starting with the lesson, remember the first thing you have to do is to watch this video. Also, you have to get your My Pals Are Here student book and activity book, the 2B, alright? As always, there are some worksheets that you can do so you can check how much you learn from this lesson. There's also going to be some optional videos if you want to watch. Remember that you can add subtitles to understand in a better way. So let's start with the lesson. So please open your My Pulsar here on page 14 and 15. Here we have the let's find out. Remember that these are questions that you have to be able to answer during the whole unit, not only today. So the first one is what are ways to make heat and what changes can heat make? Today we are going to focus on the first one. And our friend here is asking, which is the hottest place in your house? You have to think. Well, that depends. If you're cooking or if it's summer, that depends. Remember, think about that and try to answer by yourself. And where does heat come from? So, this question is about heat sources. Let's see what our friends are doing in the kitchen. Uh, Sue says the dough has turned into cookies. Be careful, they are hot. Well, here we have our friends that are in a kitchen. Kitchen, it's a place where we can store food in the fridge and also cook food using the oven or the cooker or the microwave or any different thing. So here we have heat. We use heat, okay? And something that is important for you to understand about heat is that, as we have been saying during these previous units, when we talk about the sources of something, we say that some of the sources can be natural and some of the sources can be artificial. So, in the case of natural heat sources, we can say that the sun is a natural heat source when the sunlight reach our planet. Another natural heat source could be fire. Fire is a natural heat source. Also, volcanoes. Can you think of more? You can tell me in the morning routine. In the case of artificial um, heat sources, we can say the oven, the microwave, uh, a fire can when the fire is made by us and not by nature. And for example, uh, the stove to get warm when it's super cold. Can you think of more? Remember, you can tell me in the morning routine or a tutorial. Let's continue. So here we have more questions, and our friends are camping. And the questions are, what makes Sue feel warm? What is Dr. Atom doing to keep warm? And how Joe is using heat. So this is about um, uses of heat, how it helps us. Well, of course, we can see that Zoe the cat, and Dr. Atom are close a fire camp or a fire pit. And he says, don't get too close to the fire soon, because of course there is heat there, and if you touch fire, you can get burned. So remember, pay attention to the be careful section. Do not go too close to a fire. You may burn yourself. And well, so to answer the first two questions is that our friends are seated nearby a heat source. In this case, they create this fire camp. So it's an artificial heat source. In the case of Joe, he's using a barbecue pit. He's grilling and he's cooking. So he's using heat not to keep warm, but to cook food. Okay, so here we have the heat, the word bank. We have heat, burning, rubbing, and cooking. Uh, Rubbing is the action to grab an object and move it back and forward constantly for a period of time, uh, hopefully quickly, in order to generate friction. So you can do the explore section to learn about this. It says rub a coin with a piece of cloth quickly, then touch the coin. Does it feel warm? You can also do the same thing if you grab your eraser and rub it uh, with your desk and you touch then the eraser. It's going to feel warm. Let's continue. All right, so here we have the explanation section of the unit. Here we have burning and rubbing give off heat. Give off is the expression that you have to learn when you're talking about objects or things that produce heat. So here we have burning gives off heat. We use the heat from burning wood to keep warm and to cook food. This is especially when you go camping, okay? When you're in a kitchen, what it's burned, it's not wood, unless your cook works with wood. But most of the time, what you're burn is gas, or in this time, you use electricity. But we're going to talk about electricity in a few more units, so relax about that. So as you can see, there we have a fire camp and also a grill, and that is cooking using heat. Rubbing gives, gives off heat. Rub your hands together quickly. Your hands will feel warm. This is something natural that we do when the a room is super cool. We can warm ourselves by rubbing our hands. And of course, rub other things together. They will get warm too. So now we're going to check the activity book on page um, 8 and 9. So here you have give off heat. Circle the activities that give off heat. So if you look at this picture, you have to circle what can produce heat, what gives off heat. And of course, the answer would be the barbecue, the grill, the boy that is smashing the rocks because uh, he's creating friction, and this friction is going to create an spark. And of course, um, the fire of the burning leaves. Uh, that's something that it's not very safe. If you are burning something, remember that you have to do it with an adult and always with water so you can turn off fire quickly if there is an emergency. And letter B, it's completing the sentence. And here we have burning and rubbing give off heat. Let's continue with page 10 and 11. So here you have to check what it's cold and what it's hot. So it's a very cold day. What can you do to keep yourself warm? You have to check. So, for example, here you have different activities, and the activities that Sue can do to stay warm are rub her hands together and wear a sweater Okay, in the case of letter B with Joe, it's a very hot day. What can Joe do to keep himself cool? Again, you have to mark with a tick. Drink ice water and turn on the fan so he gets uh, a colder wind to get fresh. Right. So, boys, today we learn there are natural and artificial heat sources. Friction is important to produce heat. Heat is used to do many things like cooking, uh, burning things, um, flying things with the hot air balloon, if you remember from unit uh, of air, um, and also to melt things. So heat have many uses. If you think of more uses of heat, you can tell me at the morning routine or at tutoria. I will be happy to listen to you. That will be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Bye bye.